Hello, this is Shannon with Dogwood Crochet, and today I'm going to show you how to crochet these cute little mini stockings. So these stockings are great to use as ornaments like I have here, or you could also string them onto a long piece of twine to use as a garland, or you could also put them on to the outside of a gift or a gift bag or something like that. And you can also do it all in one color, or you can do a different color for the cuff and the heel like I have for these here. So let's get started. So to make this stocking, first we're going to need a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, and then we'll need some medium worsted weight number 4 yarn. I'm using Mary Maxim Starlit Sparkle. This is the color white gold, and this is the color emerald. And then the red color that I used was called Ruby. And then you will also want some twine or jute. If you're doing the ornament, you need about 6 inches of it. If you're doing a garland, you need however long you want for the garland. And then you will also need a yarn needle. So we're going to start by making a magic circle. So I'm going to get my yarn and wrap it around my index finger 3 times. I'm going to get my hook and place it under all 3 strands and pull this one under the other 2. Then we're going to chain 2. And now we're going to place 5 half double crochet into the circle. And 5. All right, so now we have 5 half double crochet in our circle, and we are going to pull the circle closed. To do that, I'm going to start pulling on this yarn tail until one of these strands starts tightening. I'm going to find that one and pull on it to close the other one, and then pull the tail to get rid of that excess yarn. And then we're going to slip stitch to join to the first stitch of the round. All right, so we should have 5 stitches at the end of round 1. For round 2, we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to place 2 half double crochet into each stitch around. So I'm working into the first stitch, which is the one that we just slip stitched into. And we're just doing 2 half double crochet in each stitch around. So by the end of this second round, we should have 10 stitches. Let's count our stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we have 10 stitches. So this right here is actually our slip stitch from round 1. So we're not going to work into that. It might look like a stitch, but it's not. So we're not going to work into that. So now we're going to slip stitch to the first stitch of our round. And now we should have this circle. Now for round 3, we are going to chain 2, and then just place 1 half double crochet into each stitch around. So we're not increasing or decreasing, we're just doing 1 half double crochet into each stitch around. So the end of round 3, we should still have 10 stitches. All right, so that is 10, and then you'll see that our work is starting to kind of curl around, which is good. This is going to form the toe of our stocking. Now we're just going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. And now for round 4, we're going to make the heel gap. So we are going to start by chaining 5. So now we're going to slip stitch into the 5th stitch from round 3. So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's our 5th stitch. We're going to insert our hook and yarn over, pull up a loop and pull through to slip stitch. So now we have this little gap here. Now we're going to half double crochet in the remaining 5 stitches of the round. So here's my next stitch. Going to place a half double crochet in that and the remaining stitches until we get back around to where we made that chain 5. All right, so we should have 5 half double crochet now, and then we have our chain 5 here. So that was the end of round 4. You should have 5 stitches and 5 chains. Now we are just going to slip stitch to join to this chain 5 from the beginning of the round. And then we are going to chain 2. And now for round 5, we are going to place 1 half double crochet into each of these chains from the heel gap, and then half double crochet in these other 5 stitches. So I'm just going to find that first chain and just place a half double crochet. So into each of these chains in this chain 5. So that's 4 and 5. All right, so that was 5, and then we should have 5 stitches left in the round. Let me tuck this tail in so it's not in the way. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stitches left in the round. So we will half double crochet into each of those 5 stitches. And 5. So now we should be back up to 10 stitches at the end of this round, at the end of round 5. And then we are going to slip stitch to join to the first stitch of the round and chain 2. Now for round 6, we're just going to place 1 half double crochet into each stitch of the round. So we should still have 10 stitches at the end of round 6. We're not increasing or decreasing. All right, so now we are at the end of the round. We'll slip stitch to join and then chain 2. And now for round 7 and 8, we're just going to repeat round 6. So we're just going to half double crochet in each stitch around, ending with 10 stitches at the end of each round. So I'm gonna do round 7 and 8 off camera, and then I will come back. All right, so I just finished my last stitch of round 8, and so now for round 9 we are going to do the cuff. So you might want to switch colors at this point. I am going to switch to my green color. So we are just going to slip stitch, and then fasten off. So you can either fasten off and attach your other color, or you can do your color change a different way if you want. But we will just want to attach our color to the first stitch of the round. And then we are going to pull up a loop and chain 4. Now we're going to place 1 treble crochet into each stitch around. So yarn over twice, insert our hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, 4 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through 2. So that's how you do a treble crochet. So we just do that in each stitch around. We will still have 10 stitches at the end of this round 9. I just finished my last treble crochet. This is our slip stitch from the previous round. So now I'm just going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 4 from the beginning of our round, and then fasten off. All right, and then you can see when we fold this over, this creates our little cuff. So our stocking is starting to take shape, which is really cool. Need to weave in this end later. So let me weave that in, and then we will work on the heel. All right, so I just wove in my ends, and now we are going to work on the heel. So I like to lay my stocking flat so that the entire heel gap is facing me. And then I'm going to get my hook and start at one of these stitches in the middle here. And I'm going to secure my green yarn to that stitch. All right, now I'm going to insert my hook back in there and pull up a loop and chain 1. And then I'm going to single crochet into each stitch around the opening of this heel gap. So definitely working into these existing stitches. And then here you can see when we turn, there's this little gap here. I'm going to work into that. So far I have 4 stitches, and we want to end up with about 12 at the end. I think I'll work into that. Oh wait, no. So I just worked into that gap. We should have 5 here and 5 from our chain 5 round. So I'll just work a single crochet into each of those chain 5s. So basically you're doing 1 single crochet into each existing stitch, and then we're just adding a stitch at each of the corners. All right, so let's see how many I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we need 4 more. Nine, 10. And you know, if you're having trouble seeing the stitches or coming up with them, it doesn't have to be an exact science. Just try to get between 10 and 12 stitches, even if you have to kind of double them up in a certain stitch if they're not lining up with each other. And then we are going to slip stitch to the first stitch. Then we're going to chain 1. So now we should have 12 stitches. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Then our slip stitch. All right, so we have 12 stitches. I don't know why, but this part kind of like always reminds me of like a mouth. And these are like the lips. It's like wearing green lipstick. Anyways, so now what we're going to do is we want to decrease our 12 stitches down to 4 stitches. So that means we're going to single crochet 3 together between like 4 groups of 3 stitches. So to do that, we are going to insert our hook into the first stitch and yarn over, pull up a loop, insert our hook into the second stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and insert our hook into the third stitch and yarn over, pull up a loop. And then we are going to yarn over and pull through all 4 loops that are on our hook. So we just decreased. We had 3 stitches and now we're down to 1. So we're going to do that 3 more times. Four loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through all 4. Then we're going to find that next stitch. And do another decrease, and then we have our last group of 3 stitches here. Do that last decrease there between those last 3 stitches. So now you can see we are down to 4 stitches in this round. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now our heel is looking more like an actual heel. So I'm going to slip stitch to the first stitch of the round. All right, so now if we fold our stocking, it looks pretty much like a little stocking. And now we can just slip stitch. There's like a tiny little gap here. I'm just going to slip stitch to close up that gap. So I'm just going to join it. So I'm going through stitches on each end and I'm doing the slip stitch twice. So I'm doing the first set of 2 stitches and then going through the next set, just like that. And like I said, this isn't an exact science, so you know, this is kind of creating a gap here that I don't like, so I'm gonna pull out that last slip stitch and maybe try adding it in a slightly different position. So maybe I'll go through this part. And I think I like that a lot better. So now I'm just going to fasten off. And weave in my ends. And now we have our finished stocking. All that's left to do is add the little ornament hanger. I'm just going to thread the twine onto my yarn needle and then just find one of these stitches up here at the top and thread it through, and then just fold it in half and tie these ends around each other in a knot to create that loop. And there you go. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And the full written tutorial is available on Etsy. I'll have that linked in the description box. And please subscribe to my channel for more crochet tutorials. And Merry Christmas!